Please open the Gemara in front of you. רק טובות, דף קופים עמוד א'. בוקר טוב, please open גמרא כתובות, דף ק"ג עמוד א', ק"ג עמוד א'. So דף ק"ד עמוד א', 104. Later we'll look at ק"ג עמוד א'. Yesterday we spoke that when Moshe and Aaron and Elazar are going up and Moshe is undressing Aaron, is dressing Elazar with the garments. You realize, by the way, we didn't speak yesterday. What happened to Aaron? Aaron remained naked. Aaron was dressing him with tachrichim. But anyway, so we said yesterday that many of the commentators explained that after Elazar was dressed up as a Kohen Gadol, legally we saw in the Rambam he starts to serve as a Kohen Gadol. So he had to move out of the cave where Aaron is about to die because he's not permitted as a Kohen Gadol to become Tameh. What we are going to discuss today is if great people like Moshe and Aaron or Rabbi Akiva or Rabbeinu HaKadosh, are they also metameh when they die or not? So let's look at the Gemara. Yeah, you go ahead. Yeah.
Kuf, what? That's what I'm asking. I'm sorry.
Daf Kuf Daled Amud Aleph and Tav.
Oh, okay. Thank you. 104A. Okay.
104A and Tav. Says the Gemara, Hahu Yoma Denach Nafshei the Rebbe, the last day of Rebbe's life, all the students realize that the situation is very serious. Gazru Rabbanan Ta'anita, everyone was fasting. Ubau Rachman, everyone was praying. Ve'amre, and they said, Kol man de'amar nach nafshei the Rebbe yidaker b'chem. No one should say that Rebbe died. Basically, what does it mean? It's a game. Our speech has always an effect, especially a speech of real, righteous, pure, honest people. No one should say Rebbe died. Slika amte the Rebbe leida. The self-attitude of Rebbe, which was a very special woman, as we see from many Gemarot, goes up to the roof of the building where Rebbe is very sick. Amra, remember, thousands of people are standing in front of the. You have to share the Gemara with him.
Share it with me. Everybody, listen to me.
This is the Gemara, and there is another Gemara here. Amra, guys, please open page 104. We're in the middle of the fourth line. Jimmy, you are number 3. I was the one that came in and opened it. Then Joseph also put his finger this way. Kohen added some wind to the machine. And now Jimmy is coming.
I don't know if anyone knows how to use it.
It takes
No,
time.
it was warm, that's why.
No. When I came in, the temperature was 82.
Yeah.
So
It's on 83 now.
Malim Bakodesh.
Joseph didn't add anything. You see, Joseph. So we were talking yesterday. Our topic was.
You like to talk about psyche. There's very few things in life we're in control of. I think people think that the thermostat, they have control, so it's a mental thing, just because otherwise we have no control of
And if they lower it more, they think there's
No,
more,
they
they
can-
call
they-
they're coming
they-
down.
The Midrash is using this said realities by Shlomo HaMelech. In the beginning, he was a king on the entire
Oh,
world.
yes.
Then he was a king on Israel. At the end, he was a king on his staff. What does the Gemara means? Everyone has to feel that they are in control of something. You realize? It takes many, many years of
You lose
experience
it when you
to.
get home.
No, but David, the point is, it takes many years of experience to realize we're not control of anything. We like to think like this, otherwise we'll go like a crazy all day. We have to do what we have to do.
Control.
You realize at the end of Shlomo, all his enemies are around, he's losing the money, he himself was in captivity, and then he comes back to this. Shlomo, the wisest, the wealthiest, the strongest, everything you want, it's Shlomo. This is life. Anyway, so yesterday's topic was Moshe, Aaron, and Elazar are going up to the mountain. Moshe addresses Elazar. Daf Kuf Dalet, 104.
Ketubot?
Ketubot, Daf 104. Until.
A kof, 104.
So yesterday, we said many commentators are learning. See, when we read the Chumash, it sounds like Moshe is addressing Aaron, he's addressing Elazar. Then Moshe tells Aaron, lie down, close your hands, your mouth, and you die. Commentators say the minute Elazar, his son, was dressed in the uniform of his father, and now as a Kohen Gadol is not permitted to be in the same cave that his father is dying, so he stepped outside. This is the way we learned yesterday. We saw the Psukim, and the reason is, if he becomes Tameh, and his brother, there are two brothers now, Elazar and Itamar, and his brother is there, no one can do the Avodah because they are Onenim. If he's a Kohen Gadol doesn't become Onen, so he can do the services that day. When did they go up? Morning, noon, afternoon? Says the Ramban, after Aaron completed the service of that day, which is to offer the Korban in the afternoon, to light the menorah in the afternoon, this is when he's going up. So Aaron finished for today. Kohen Gadol cannot become Onen. So he's not allowed to be Tameh.
No, but isn't he Mitameh to his father?
We saw yesterday in the Chumash, this was Nathan, this was yesterday. So the Chumash says only a regular Kohen becomes Tameh to his father. Kohen Gadol cannot Tameh to anyone. This is the point. So the minute he's being dressed up with his father, this is it. He becomes a Kohen Gadol. And yesterday we saw the Rambam in Kelei HaMikdash. We saw the Baal HaTurim that said that he was anointed to his.
So if a Kohen Gadol, God forbid, his father dies, he doesn't do anything?
He's following the funeral from far.
Okay.
But he doesn't have,
But he doesn't do Kiryah, he
it's
doesn't.
as if
It's as if nothing happened. Wow.
Okay, it's one person in the world.
You know, but to say nothing.
No, remember, what you feel, you feel. You cannot take away the person's feeling, but in reality. Anyway, we are going to discuss today, what are we afraid if Elazar is there? This is Aaron HaKohen, many people. We see Tosafot. Some say that tzaddikim are not metameh. We'll see in a minute if it's yes or no. Let's see. So this is, look again from the top of the page. Hahu Yom Adenach Nafshir the Rebbe, the day that Rabbeinu HaKadosh is about to die. Nazru Rabbanan Ta'anita. Thousands of people are congregating in front of the house. Everyone is fasting, everyone is praying. They are praying. And they said, Kol Man Amar Nach Nafshir the Rebbe, Yidakar B'cherem. Anyone that dares to say that Rebbe died, Yidakar B'cherem should be stabbed. Selika Amte the Rebbe Le'idra. The substitute of Rebbe went up to the roof. The Amra, she is praying. Listen what she's saying. עליונים מבקשים את רבי. The angels would like to have Rabbi with them, to have such a guest with them. והתחתונים, but the students, the disciples מבקשים את רבי. This is Gemara Ketubot. Daf Kuf Dalet, we are on the 5th line from the top. So she is saying there is a war here between the heavenly powers, ותחתונים מבקשים את רבי. יהי רצון, she is praying, שיקופו תחתונים את העליונים. She is praying that the prayers should win over the desire of the heavenly yeshiva to welcome them. But remember, she's the only one that goes in and out of the house. She knows the house well. Kevan the Chazai, Kama Zimni, the Ayel, the Beit HaKesed. She saw that he's running to the bathroom back and forth. And every time he goes in, he has to take off his tefillin. He's dying with his tefillin. Yes. Every time he goes in, he has to take off his tefillin. Umanachlu, and he has to put it back when he comes back. The Gemara says before, look at the opposite page. You see, you have the Gemara. Look at the opposite page with the white line. See? See the opposite page with the white lines? Look 2 lines. Look, Larry, look in 103b.
Also, can you explain what Sheyakov Tachtonim et Elyonim, that the
Thought is to force. She wishes, she prays, prayers of the people here should win over. Prayers have power more than the decision up there. She wishes that the combination of fasting and praying should extend his life. But she realizes that he suffers very much. In a minute, you'll see which type of internal disease he had. Look at the Gemara before. Look, you see the Gemara Kuf Gimel Amud Bet. Look at the Gemara 2 lines before the white lines.
Which one, the top or the bottom?
Oh, the bottom, yeah, the bottom. The 2 middle, I'm sorry, I should have said the 2 middle white lines. Met be'erev Shabbat, siman yafer. Anyone that dies on Friday, it's a good siman, Rashi says, because he goes right away the menucha. Shabbat is Yom Menucha, up here, up there.
Yeah.
The Motzai Shabbat, siman rav. Met be'erev Yom Kippur, siman rav. Because Yom Kippur is a kapara for everyone. The Motzai Yom Kippur, siman yafer. If he dies right after Yom Kippur, he'll have a kapara. Here it is. Met mecholi me'ayin. If he died from intestines problems in his digestion period. Siman yafer. You know why? מפני שרובם של צדיקים מתעתן בכל מעל. Why is that? See, tzadikim more or less are in control of the regular body desires that we have, more or less. But when it comes to food, this is the biggest challenge of their Hashem Amitim. Every bite that you take, are you taking the Shem Shamayim or not? Are you taking double? Are you taking double dessert? Yeah. The Chazon Ish was a very, very, very fragile man. So they used to, his sister was the disciple's wife, Paganevsky's mother, used to serve him a tray, 2 slices of bread, an egg, whatever. Very often when he was ready to eat, and someone knocked on the door, he give me. The second time, he give me. By the 3rd time, he told his sister, take the food away. Obviously, every time you left over the egg, even though you needed the egg very much for healthfulness, this is a Chaim Kanievsky, like Shamati Me'ima Shuli. She said, every time he didn't eat, we opened the egg and there was a blood still.
Wow.
Well, which means I'm just showing you that by big people, it's a serious business. Eating by us, we are human. So Choli Me'ayim means to cleanse this type of suffering is cleansing all the unnecessary consuming of food.
Wow.
Here, Rabbeinu HaKadosh is running in and out of the bathroom, and she realizes, remember, it's old now, it's sick. It's too much. When she saw that, listen to this. Go back.
This is the housekeeper, right?
You see the Gemara many places in the second Megillah. She was not a regular.
Do we know if she was a Jew or Goya? Do we know?
It's an interesting question. Most likely she was Jewish because she knew too much. The Gemara in Megillah says that sometimes the students used to have questions. So she said, it means so and so, don't you know?
She heard it so many times. She figured it out.
Like they say, someone called up Rabbi Feinstein. Which bracha do you make on a pretzel? In his life, he doesn't know what's a pretzel. He calls his wife. Which bracha, what is a pretzel? She says, take a service. He says, I don't know. She says, I don't know what it is. He says, okay, it's all right. Anyway, listen carefully to the upcoming line. Amra, she says, Yehi ratzon, sheyakufu elyonim et tachtonim. She is praying now and it should die. But she realized that he suffers so much that the prayers of the people
are holding it back.
But this is a very sensitive Gemara. You see a little star, a little circle near the word Sheyakufu, you see there?
I don't have it here.
Anyway, Rabbi Akiva Eger says to me, look at the Ran. The Ran is a commentator in the Maran Edarim, but the Ran says over there, from here in the Ran, if someone suffers very much, you can pray that he should die. Remember, we would never do it, but do you care?
She didn't pray he should die.
Yakufu Tachtonim means
they should overpower.
The war. It's a very the way they translate the line. You don't have to say, I wish he would die, I pray he should die. Whatever has to happen to him,
he should stop suffering.
Well, but the point is not to have the guilt. But I know a fellow that I wouldn't tell you name, but he says to me that he stayed with his gun, a Syrian kid, a lovely kid. I stayed with my grandfather weeks and weeks. And finally, he says to me, Joey, I can't take it anymore. I wish I would die. Pray for me. So the kid says to me, what was the kid? He didn't know anything to do. He said, I tried. My grandfather said, and he died the next day. I said,
wow.
Makes a difference, but the kid says to me, you have no idea the guilt. The guilt. So as you said, I said, let's open the Gemara. Look at the Rim. I told you, he didn't die because of you. He died because of his time. Time came up. When you wished it, you really helped him out. Wait a second. This is what she is saying. Velo havu shatku rabanan lebai rachmi.
They didn't stop.
Remember, she is on the roof. Down there are thousands of people praying and fasting, and they continue saying things. And she realizes if they continue, he's not going to die. Shakla Kuza, she took a jug and she threw it from the roof down.
To get them,
the minute it fell down, made such a noise, for a minute, everyone stopped. This is the second they died. Shtiku, Shadia Meiga Lahara, she dropped it. Ishtiku. For a minute, Merachme, they stopped praying, Benachnav Shidared.
Sounds like the story of David HaMelech a little
very
bit,
similar.
Very similar that the prayer was
which means that if there are certain circumstances that because of them you cannot, the minute you stop it for a minute, it's exactly like David. The fact that the wind was blowing, David.
Yeah, but there's a difference over here. It's a human being did it.
Good.
Like she. By the way, this is the question. Forget praying for someone to die. She actually did a ma'aseh.
So
she did a ma'aseh.
But this is
the
the point.
on purpose.
And everyone that talks about the issue, are we permitted to unplug a guy that is hooked to a machine and you see that he suffers non-stop? You cannot learn from him. Unplugging means you're putting a bullet into his head. This is a spiritual bullet. Do all the spiritual bullets you want, it's fine. Understand? Ma'aseh b'yadayim Ilchot Rotzeach is to kill him.
All these people praying is to Hashem.
Right.
And Hashem decides. So like you have
Hashem, it's a good question. Hashem runs the universe as we run a court here. Yes? People are begging very often, very much. The power of prayer is such. Even though this time is up, but there's a famous Rashi in Chumash. It says 3 times in Chumash, "Be'etzem hayom hazeh," the broad daylight. One is by Noach. Be'etzem hayom hazeh, Noach comes in. Why? Because all the wicked people said, remember, for 120 years they didn't listen. Now they realize, hey, it becomes very serious. It starts to rain. So they said, we would stop him. It says, we would stop him. He's going to walk in front. Then from Mitzrayim, the Egyptians said, we would physically stop them. Then, by Moshe Rabbeinu, it says, "Be'etzem hayom hazeh." Who can stop whom? Okay, interesting.
Why are you comparing Moshe to the other ones?
How would you stop? You understand? But Noah, physically, the wicked people by the thousands said we will surround the Teva is not coming in. Hashem says Yivka is coming in. By Mitzrayim, the Egyptians are saying, thousands of us, who is going to stop? Says Rabbi Shmulevitz, to stop means that the entire Jewish congregation, 2 million people are going to pray that Moshe should not die. This is the only way to stop it. Hashem says, when his time is up, he would die.
Rabbi, and for power of prayer, don't we have the mother of the Kohen Gadol prays that they shouldn't listen to the prayers of the travelers so that the son will be spared? So the power of prayer is very evident there.
The mother prays the prayers of the murderers accidentally who are permanent residents in the refuge city until he dies. But this is an example. See, here's the key. Everyone remembers how we prayed the day after Simchat Torah, the day after October 7th. Today, even Baruch Hashem, many shul are still doing it. The fever is not there.
The rabbi stopped it because they said people became robotic.
I'm not accusing the
but that's true. No, I'm saying it's emet because people are robotic.
Right. See, when the Gemara is saying here, praying,
is it better than nothing?
When the Gemara says here, listen carefully. When the Gemara says here, they were praying.
The fact that she had to throw something to distract them for a second.
I was in Sloan once. My wife's very, very, very good friend. Her husband was a good friend of mine. She was dying from cancer. She had a daughter in Israel. He didn't tell the girl how sick her mother. She knew it. But finally, they realized. So she came, and I saw her praying in my life. I never saw her praying. Why? She just found out that her mother is on a deathbed. This is the type of prayers that the Gemara is talking about. Yeah? Not pressing a button with Shira Harot.
But you're saying with Moshe that it wouldn't have helped. The reason that this is a little opposite now. You're saying even if 3 million people are
No. Hashem says, I would arrange that it's not going to be. I would arrange that it's not going to be, because if it's going to be, I have to listen to the prayers. I mean, this is really what I said. Not that Hashem would not listen to the prayers. Let's say by Noah. What happened by Noah? You know what the Gemara says? Thousands of people wanted to stop, but all the predator animals came and attacked them.
You have free choice at some point when you
I mean, the point of this Torah is the power of real prayer, the power of prayers. Anyway, listen to this.
I heard a class on when they were talking about Nazi Germany, when they were that battle before it was coming to Egypt.
Right.
So they said that the rabbis of Israel made Tehillim around the clock, and all the great rabbis of Egypt. Yehuda Ftaya got there to go around Israel saying. So it says that you see the power, like you said, of real. They wanted to say if the Polish rabbis would have done the same thing. I mean, nobody knows, but
no one. The point, what he's trying to say is, it says in the Pasuk, double. So the rabbi from Lakewood, the Mashgiach, used to say, if you looked on it, it's a world war. The Jews we didn't realize the target is the Jews.
Yeah.
It's 60 million people died.
Right.
If you look at it globally, who was there? This is why they didn't focus. See, people in Hungary, I mean, I met many people, most of the survivors in Hungary. So every time, why didn't you run away? So, it happened in Poland. 2 million Polish Jews were done. It happened in Poland. It's not going to happen by
Nobody
us.
thinks it's coming here.
In 44, when they came in, one shot, 400,000 were taken. Those who they didn't take, so what? It's life. No one wants to leave the home in the
You know, the general, the general.
Rommel.
Problems. So they say that.
Fox of the desert.
No, so they wanted to say. I heard that if you look in the one of the kavanot in the Chised David Abdecha and the Amidah, it says the Arizal says you should pray that Arminus Harasha should not kill Mashiach ben Yosef. So look at the name. Rama was Armilu. I mean, depending on the language.
Look further at the Gemara. אמרו לי רבנן לבר כפרה, זיר, עיין. The rabbis realized that the fact that they stopped for a couple of seconds perhaps changed, they don't know what she knows already it is. Azal, Ashkechegen Achnafshi. He went into their house, the rabbi is not alive. Kar Eini Levush, he ripped. Because you know, by the way, Hashem Yishmor V'yatzil Ad 120. If you look at the Shulchan Aruch, Hashem Yishmor, if you are in the presence of a relative when he dies, the rip has to be right there. We keep it to the by Sfaradim after you come back, by Ashkenazim, is because people are so confused. You don't know it.
You're supposed to do it on
It
the.
happened to me once, and I felt bad that I didn't do it right away.
But he's not even a relative. He's a rabbi. He's a.
No, but for Talmudim, you'll see in a minute, it's almost like a student, you'll see in a minute.
It's like a father.
So he ripped it, and see, he realizes he cannot come out openly and say, he walks out,
Backwards.
and everyone understood. The kare lelevushe ve'adre lekare la'achore. And he took his garment, he shouldn't be so noticeable. He doesn't want to be the one to tell everyone. פתח ואמר, הרעלים ומצוקים אחזו בארון השם. There are two powers who held this holy man, from above and from us.
מה זה הרעלים ומסוקים?
הרעלים is a name of
It's a kind of
מלאכים. הרעלים ומצוקים, so מצוקים, look at the Rashi on the fourth line from the top, fourth line. הרעלים ומלאכים וצדיקים מצוקי ארץ. צדיקים ומצוקים, look at this, ניצחו הרעלים את המצוקים ונשבע ארון השם. אמרו לי, what are you saying? נח נפשי דרבי, did he die? אמר לו, אתון קם, מיתו, ואתם, if you look at the Shulchan Aruch, it says you never call someone out, you know who died? You can say, stop saying things. You realize, they definitely got the message, but they said the word.
Is that limited to Rebbe, or is it you're
Okay,
saying?
there are many ways. There are many ways. My brother was there a few weeks ago, so he's doing it. Called me up very early in the morning and says, my father died at 4:20. Yeah, she could have said my father is not alive. She could have, no, but she's a daughter, she's very. בשעת פטירתו של רבי, now the Gemara is going into the house.
So what's the reason of not saying it?
It's a good question. I don't know exactly. I mean, if anyway you get the message, if anyway the message is there, I don't know, I have to look at it. בשעת פטירתו של רבי זקף, listen carefully, he's lifting his 10 fingers as he's dying, ואמר, ריבונו של עולם, גלוי וידוע לפניך, שיגעתי ב10 אצבעותיי בתורה. You know that with my 10 fingers I told Torah as much as I can. Remember, he wrote the Mishnayot. He put all the Mishnayot together. He was the leader of the Jewish community. ולא נהניתי אפילו באצבע קטנה. I didn't take anything that.
How many people can make this declaration? I just want to know. In the history of the how
So
many
now,
people
look
make
at Tosafot on the top left, Jimmy, Tosafot.
לא נהניתי,
אמרינן במדרש עד שאדם מתפלל שייכנס תורה לתוך גופו, יתפלל שלא ייכנסו מעדנים לתוך גופו. Instead of praying, let the Torah go into you. Pray that you shouldn't eat too much because being consumed, again, it's a relative term. But the commentators explain why is he lifting his fingers. What they say the reason I was zocher to write all the Mishnayot is
because I לא נהניתי בעולם הזה. And Rebbe was a ashir מאוד מאוד.
This
So
is
the
the
fact
point.
that he, Ani says
even
it.
though the guy was mega wealthy, and the Gemara says that the Gemara describes what used to be served on his table. He never took from it. He used to entertain leaders. He used to entertain, like everyone. You have to do what you have to do as a leader. But
He used to learn with the Roman, right?
Right.
What's his name?
Antoninus. No, but you realize this goes back to the Gemara. Fine. So now go to the opposite page. Look on top of Tosafot.
Antoninus was the other one. They said Korach found the third.
Yeah. This is
Antoninus
one.
was
This
the
is
second
one.
who went
This is
third.
one. How
The
wealthy?
second from all
How
these.
wealthy he was.
The money of Egypt, 1/3 was Korach, Antoninus, and the other third is for the Mashiach. So he was.
אותו היום, look at the Safot on the previous page, right at the opposite, right there, on the top, אותו היום שמת רבי בטלה קדושה. Yes? אותו היום שמת רבי בטלה קדושה. Listen carefully now. שהיו קוראים אותו רבנו הקדוש. הקדוש. ועד תניא בשילי סוטה, it says in גמרא סוטה at the end, ושמת רבי בטלה ענווה ויראה. Rebbe was a symbol, a humble man. Rebbe was a symbol of יראת שמיים. Here the Gemara says קדושה. יש לומר the קדושה בכלל, which means קדושה is a result of being exceedingly humble and exceedingly ירא שמיים. Fine. Here, this is very famous because many people are using or abusing. In a minute you'll see. Harav Rabbi Chaim Kohn, remember, this is written into us. Fortunately, this is 800 years ago. היה אומר, אלמלא הייתי כשנפטר, he's a Kohen.
Oh, I heard this the other day. Today's the Yotzar of Rabbeinu Tam.
Oh,
Today.
ממש, yeah.
Today's the Yotzar of Rabbeinu Tam.
Unbelievable.
He says if I was there, I would have been Mitamed.
Look, we just read it in Hashem.
I thought you were doing this on purpose.
I didn't know it.
Today's the Rabbeinu Tam Yotzar.
אלמלא הייתי כשנפטר רבנו תם, הייתי מתעמר. It says, even though I'm a Kohen, I would have gone to the funeral and become tamer, which means I would have kept the casket. Why? He interprets the I batla kedusha the ka'amar acha, היינו kedushat keuna. Here, he learns that a big man like Rabbi, even the Kohen is allowed to become tamer. So many people interpret this that Kohanim, and I'll give you an example. You are a Kohen. When you came to Kever Rachel, you didn't go with the Kohen. You stood outside. Many are saying,
It's a big mahloket where you can go to.
no, good, but many are saying, based on that, in a minute you'll
Because you
see.
said even go in you're saying,
In-
even where the kibbut is.
This is what he's saying. If he's saying,
No, but he's talking about a person who died just now. Like you're talking about a
okay,
hare
good,
who
good,
died.
good.
No,
You have that mitzvah or something?
Wait, just take it
what's the
easy.
difference?
Take
It's a big
it-
difference.
Take out a minute, Rambam Sefer Torah.
Then you should hold like Rabbi Shimon, tzaddikim and amasamim, you go
In a
anytime.
minute. Let's take out the Rambam.
Oh, but you would appreciate the story. We were there with Rabbi Massaton on one of the trips. We were by Kever Rachel. So Hacham Ovadia says you can't go in there at
Of
all.
course not.
No, Chacham Mordechai
you
Eliyahu
can
says
go
you
ahead.
can go in up until. So
Give everyone a
So we were
second.
standing outside, so my father goes, Hacham Mordechai is good enough for me. He goes, I'm not kidding. He goes,
Look at the Rambam. I'm sorry, what did I tell you? The Rambam Mishpatim, I made a mistake. Rambam Mishpatim, Chot Apel, I made a mistake. Rambam Mishpatim, I think that we might have it in this. No. Mishpatim. Dalit, the last one.
Which parak?
פרק ג' הלכה, פרק ג' מלכות אבל הלכה י', look at the Rambam understood this Gemara totally different.
Wait a minute, you're saying it's in Mishpatim?
הלכות אבל is in ספר משפטים. The last topic of the Rambam before מלכים is הלכות אבל. The Rambam, just to take ספר משפטים, הלכות אבל, פרק ג' הלכה י'.
Wait, Rabbi Prague, not
שופטים,
to disagree, it can't be Mishpatim, it's Shoftim.
Thank you.
Wow.
I was wrong.
Pere
פרק ג' הלכה ט' הלכה י'. Let's see the background of this הלכה every time. You have
נשיא
to know.
שמת,
Here you have it.
פרק ג',
You see הלכה ט'.
ומתאמנים לו.
Right.
וואו.
ומנין שקוראים על ספר תורה שנשרף.
Where are you, Rabbi?
Okay, wait. I'm
You're not in Yom.
looking in bed. See, because I made one mistake before, I made another mistake here. Says the Rambam, Halacha Yud. We saw yesterday Halacha Tet, look at you. Nasi Shemet, a leader, not a political leader, elected by politicians. Yes, Nasi Shemet, like Rabbeinu HaKadosh, Akol Mitamin lo. Everyone in the community has
has to, הכל מטמאים.
Afilu Kohanim. You see,
Wow.
he understood this Gemara, not that Ish Kadosh like Rebbe is not Metameh. He's a Nasi. There's nothing to do with the Asau Kemet Mitzvah Lakol. You know this? For every Jewish
How
person.
do we apply today?
So most poskim acharonim say that we cannot go to Kever Rachel. You cannot go to the Kever of the Beit Yosef. You cannot go to the Kever of the Abi. If you take Rabbeinu, see, we read Rabbeinu Chaim Cohen also. He meant because he's Ish Kadosh. Yes. Rambam understood the many. The Mikvah said the same.
But how does, I don't understand how Rambam, Rabbi Chaim HaKohen says, if I was there, I would have gone. Mashma, that people didn't go.
No. Because Rabbeinu Chaim Cohen lived 1,500 years
No,
later.
no. He was saying, if I was there when Rabbeinu Tam died, I would have been metameh.
Correct.
If the halacha is that you are metameh, ma chidush amar Rabbi Chaim HaKohen.
A good
Adam
question.
Baruch, Geni halacha.
It's a good point. He wasn't there. He says, I don't know what happened. I would be there. No,
It doesn't sound like he's making a great statement.
No.
That's the halacha.
Rabbi,
Yes.
did that mean that when Chacham Ovadia passed away, a Kohen should have been Metameh himself?
According to most Rishonim and according to Chacham Ovadia himself, the answer is no. Because Chacham Ovadia says, even if the Rambam would die today, Kohanim should not go to the
So he argues with this
No,
halacha.
because he says, listen again.
Nasi.
Nasi, the question is, what
What's
is
a nasi? And you said not appointed. So Chacham Ovadia was not an appointed.
נשיא שמת הכל מתאמין לו, אפילו כהנים עשהו כמת מצווה, לכל בפני שהכל חייבים בכבודו. נעיר את זה. וכן הכל עוננים עליו. אני אגיד an example. בשפת אמת was a rabbi of 120 and everyone agrees שהיה קדוש. ככה היה. When he died, the real elder חסידים עשה אבני נזר. Can we
Metameh.
he told them when the Kotzker Rebbe died, which was a Rebbe of all the Rebbe's, he says, the grandfather of his father says, we don't go, this is it. But you realize also, this is you understand the argument is based. How do you interpret it? So look at the Rambam again. The Rambam is saying clearly, the same way that me and you are obligated. Joseph is a Kohen, Jimmy is a Kohen, Nathan is a Kohen. If you see a Met Mitzvah, you're obligated to go. Jojo. Many years ago in the 60s, there was a strike of the Chevra Kadisha in Baltimore. All the others, not only the Chevra, everyone.
The Hera that he says it's like.
money, it's only, חברה קדישא is a business, yeah. The burial is one of the
It's like,
biggest
it's
businesses
like the
in the
nursing
world.
home business.
If we invested in 10,
Do you know how much money our
The same guy
Hebra
owns the
Kadisha
nursing
has?
homes. Rabbi, the same owners
It's
of
the
the
richest-
nursing homes
it's the
own the
richest,
Hebra Kadisha, you know,
It's the richest organization in that community.
no, but the beauty of,
Where does the money go?
the beauty of this.
It costs more money to die
The
today than it's.
beauty, the beauty of the Sephardic is very nice. The minute a person dies, the Chevra Kadisha is not asking questions. They bury it. Later, if the family has money, they'll ask money. So it comes out that the person with the rich cover for the poor. I mean, you have to pay for the grave, you have to pay for organizing. In Israel, whoever bought graves 40 years ago, today it's 100 times
Oh
more.
my God.
Yes.
Rabbi, my father,
The biggest investment you ever
Rabbi.
made is if you go to
my father in 1982 paid $2,000 out of Had Minchot.
today it's
Today it's
approximately
30, 40.
Oh,
Whoa,
40, 45.
40,000.
40,000.
In Gaza, you pay 20,000.
$2,000.
I bought 3 years ago, the first year of COVID, there was something, the heritage on Har
Yeah,
HaZeitim.
yeah.
So I bought it, it was 30.
Hey, Ike,
That's a good price.
Yeah.
Today, same
you
one
should,
today.
can you do a tax-free exchange?
3 years ago.
Definitely you could do that.
No, it's on
No.
land, Ike,
It's
it's
a,
land.
it's a permanent, it's a permanent exchange.
Well, in the business. So if you sell it back to the Havra for the price you paid, and then they could resell it for more money. You can't, you understand? Yeah, that's it.
Ike, you put a house on a mausoleum, and then you could sell it.
Yeah.
Radbaz.
That's how they're operating now. They're building them on top of each other.
So
Crazy.
The Yerushalmi,
that means the Bavli doesn't, the
so the
Harambam is
Lashon of the Yerushalmi, I'll tell you in a minute in Yerushalmi.
Maravini,
Look a second, go back to
Rabbi Prague, but why do they have to add the Chena Kol Onanim Alav? If they're B'tamim,
No, listen carefully what he
I want to
said.
understand what he's saying here, please.
Everyone, the day of the funeral of Rebbe, didn't put tefillin. Everyone did not make a bracha. They have the halacha of onet, the same way as a child. The day his father. זה הרמב"ם אומר להלכה. See, the real Talmidim of our Ovadia, I'm sure the day, the Talmidim באמת,
until they bury it.
that's the fair face. So look now, listen to this now. Let me read you first the Shulchan Aruch before we go into. Look a second in the Shulchan Aruch.
Because over here, we don't see the Kohanim who have Betamet.
Correct. So this is what Reb Chaim Cohen, he learned. This is the point. I'm reading the Shulchan Aruch now, Lari Siman Shinayin Dal 3, 7.
Shin Kuf
See if
Resh
you Dalef,
374.
374. You see, I'm reading you first, Jimmy, Alacha Yud, then Yud Aleph. Alacha Yud.
In Orach Chaim or in
No, Yored De'ah.
Yored, that's what I thought. Okay,
Yored De'ah is miscellaneous.
gotcha.
Dam, Kisui Adam, Chalav Israel, this, that. miscellaneous, ספר תורה, תפילין, מזוזה, על רבו שלימדו חוכמה, נוהג דיני אמינות.
That's your rabbi that taught you most of your Torah.
I'm talking about the real
Real
dream
student.
of real, this is very few in every generation. אלא שמברך ומזמן ומתאבל עליו בחליצת סנדל. You have to take off your shoes, you have to rip your garments, you have to sit down, and that's the first day. Fine. Now, please listen. Nasi, here the Shulchan Aruch now, סעיף י"א, Larry, copies the Rambam. נשיא, אף על פי שהכל מתאמין לו, everyone has to become טמא, everyone means even כהנים, אין מתאבלים עליו. It is?
Even though you're supposed to, we don't.
No, אין מתאבלים. אין מתאבלים is you go to the funeral, but the delay אמינות that we saw.
Oh, we don't do it. So we do. He went halfway.
Correct, halfway, but I'm showing you the Maran, better than the Rambam. So the way they understood the story with Rabbi Yehuda Nasi is
That the Kohanim were
the
Betamet.
Kohanim were metameh because of a Nasi, but not because it is because he's a leader. Yes.
So after Rabbeinu HaKadosh, who's the Nasi?
Okay.
Maybe
okay,
Mafi.
I'm
Maybe he was the
sure.
last Nasi.
Okay.
I'm just saying. You're saying Nasi has to be.
Go back to Tosfot. Go back to Tosfot.
Maybe we could. That's how we could learn. Rabbeinu Tam wasn't a Nasi. So maybe Rav Chaim Kohen is saying, I would have treated the Rabbeinu Tam like a Nasi.
Interesting that you say, I saw someone saying it exactly the way it says. Even though Rabbeinu Tam was really surrounded with Talmidim all his life, but I would treat him as a
Like a
Nasi
Nasi.
because Be'emet, he is, you see, you understand this.
Yeah, but it gets really complicated. There are a lot of Nesiim in this world these days.
This is the point.
Who's Nasi?
I mean, just look at yesterday, right? I mean, what happens? It gets out of control.
The point is,
Your Nasi is not my Nasi.
this is the point
So
why
Biden?
it's not that.
Biden.
It's not that. Jimmy wants to know who you're talking about Biden or about the new Nasi?
No, if you know yesterday's Gimel Thomas, you can get crazy with these things.
Oh, you're talking about the
Oh, the Lubavitch,
Oh, the
Lubavitch Rebbe, did your chat yesterday.
refer to him the Nasi.
Ah.
So for them, they quietly would tell you that if you come to his cabin, you can go in if you're Kohen. But of course, the Lubavitch would say,
Oh, yeah?
go back, check it. All the tourists are not saying it, but if you came yesterday, you want to hear something? Every Chassid Lubavitch in the world, that Aliyah and Shabbat, or
To say Shabbat?
Wow.
Aliyah, you don't hear. My shul, they came to Lenny and they say, this. Yesterday was a guy comes, me, my 3 sons, and this guy. So the Rabbi says to him, you have a minhag, and you should. Anyway, what they did was they gave him by mincha, one, by Monday one, and Shabbat 2. But
Oh, Lenny's the Misadir. That's why they came there for the Aliyah.
He's a Sagan. No, he's a Sagan. Don't give Lenny what he isn't. Steve Adelsberg is the guy. Lenny's the Dach Schlepper. And don't even start with me on this. It's a big maflakin. That Lenny's a Dach Schlepper, Rabbi Prague.
But you're on record.
Larry, I love you.
No, I love Lenny. We joke about this all the time. And then there's a guy by Sleazy over there too.
Look at the end of Tosfot. Look at the end of Tosfot.
Lahavdil.
David
Look
is
at
also a Segan, by the way. David is a Segan when Ike's not around. He's a Segan.
Well, we talked about it last night. A Sagan Kohen. It's a big deal.
Rabbi, all I'm going to tell you is this whole week, it's all about the Kohanim. I told Jimmy today, he better give me a big blessing when he does Birkat Kohanim from all the things we talked about.
No, just have to listen to him. We should get a bracha.
Look at the end of Tosfot.
Ronnie too, by the way.
אין מוכח
Thank you, I'm here listening.
היום, משמע אותו היום דווקא. ובהדיא אמר בירושלמי, listen good now, this is ירושלמי, זה מסכת ברכות, בפרק מי שמתו, וכשמת רבי אמרו אין כהונה היום. צריך תוספות רבים לירושלמי, only for that day, which means it's an assi, not that for permanently we can go to the grave, you understand? ירושלמי is משמע, that day, as an assi, we have to.
So now the Kohen was metamed. That means he has to go get pure then. If he goes to the.
Even if you be, it's a tell to become tamed.
Not to be clean.
See the Rambam exactly saying it's a bet mitzvah. All the Gemarot are going back to the.
No.
By the way, Rabbi Prague,
Yes.
whatever we learned last night, could we uber chazir in? Because I'm thinking about it. It was so complicated. It was late last night, and I don't want you to think anybody chopped last night. Last night was not choppable so easy. So we got to go over that.
Just this, I'm finishing with this. Those who somehow are lenient when you go to Kivarim with the Avir, let's say this. The Midrash in Mishlei says like this. Listen. As you know, Rabbi Akiva was jailed in jail. Rabbi Yeshua Agarsi, Talmido, stayed every day with him. Erev Yom Kippur, the student says goodbye to the rabbi. He's going home, Erev Yom Kippur. בא אליהו ועמד על פתח ביתו. אליהו says to him, doesn't say I'm אליהו, כהן אני. באתי להגיד לך שרבי עקיבא, you just left your rabbi, just died. מיד הלכו שניהם לבית האסירים, והשכיבו את רבי עקיבא על המיטה, ויצאו, ותוק הזמן. מיד, as they came out, Eliyahu takes Rabbi Akiva on his shoulders. כשראה רבי יהושע אמר לו לאליהו רבי, הלא אמרת לי אמש שכהן היית, וכהן אסור להתרמל. אמר לו אין טומאה בתלמידי חכמים ואף בתלמידי. He is saying Rabbi Akiva, this is like Rabbi Yutam. Rabbi Akiva to me, so here there are two interpretations. Some say great giants as Rabbi Akiva, but you see, to spot in Yevamot, in Baba Messiah say he was pushing him. Just
This is famous. They talk about how do you become Tameh.
Rabbi, but also it's in
Eliyahu
Mitzvah-
Hanavi, when Eliyahu revived the baby, how can Eliyahu revive the baby? It's the same question.
Rabbi, he just passed away. It's a mitzvah to bury him, no?
Good
Doesn't that
question.
override?
Others are saying it's like in the mitzvah because
Yes.
Akiva is dead in a Roman jail.
He killed him.
Roman jail.
Rabbi Akiva.
Rabbi Akiva, didn't they kill him at the thing? What are you talking
Right.
about? How could it be? Didn't they kill him with the Romans killed him?
It's a good question. It's a good question. I think they tortured him and then he died and they put him in jail. Anyway, Halacha L'Maaseh, all the real Gedolim are saying the number. P'tchei Tshuva in Shulchan Aruch, it says, Batei Kehuna, it's a Sephardic Oser, Shlomo Kluger Oser. Most of the great Gedolim are saying it's asur to become Tameh. Joseph, as you said before, the minute you find the leniency, my grandfather, Sadiq Amur.
That's why, Rabbi, they made Kohen first. Don't tell me your rabbis, but you tell it to us all the time. My
That's
rabbi's not on the
That's
same
what
level.
Hanan said. He remembers in the old Magen David, now the funeral home.
Yeah.
No one. They never had funerals. Once the president of the Kehillah, the Senate exception. Right after that,
Became
finished. Who says it? Just him? My grandfather was.
But Rabbi, I don't know, I heard from the old timers, they said that it's asur to make a shul, a funeral.
Correct.
So how do we do it? Chacham Ovadia writes against it, a lot, especially.
When he was here, he spoke.
Yeah, he said-
Everything in the community is.
So they said, I heard the story I heard was whatever year it was in the 40s or 50s, I don't know what year it was. They said that they started going to not Jewish funeral homes. So Chacham Yaakov said, we're not, to
This
protect
makes
the
a lot-
community, that makes more sense now.
Makes a lot
So
of
he
sense.
did it, we're gonna do it, he changed it, this way he didn't want people going to the Goyim. They started bringing wreaths, you know how the Goyim bring that?
It's very.
That's a story that I heard.
But when they built Shadet Zion, there were no funerals. That was the rule. No funerals in Shadet Zion.
No, but he's saying that the reason
Yeah.
why.
Yeah, there was a reason. Yeah.
Probably it was
To
because.
stop him from going outside.
Correct.
Let them have a small house and do it
No,
there.
it's easy to say that now, Joseph.
John, it's easy said than done.
See, tonight is a review of yesterday's class. Okay, tomorrow.
Oh, yes, last night, I have to admit, I was just,
But it's a good topic. We can.
great topic, but it's hard. It's 10 o'clock at night. I was less than half.
I'll tell you in a minute. No, because remember, you always need